Today I'm going to show you how to take product photography the easy way. What's going on, guys? Josh here. I am joshuarussell.com. Today we're going to show you how I do my product photography when it comes to bottles, cans, fruit, stuff like that, and how to get that awesome glistening look on them, and just how to take amazing product photos of cans, bottles, fruit, stuff like that. So before we get into this though, please hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, leave me a comment, and make sure you get that bell notification on. That way you know anytime that I release videos. We are going to be releasing a lot more videos now that I got Keenan here with me, working behind the camera. So we're just going to get into it. Basically what I got is I got my Sony a7 III already set up on my tripod with a wireless flash trigger, and I got the can already set up. So basically, right now it's just a can sitting on black lucite. It's actually clear lucite, but I spray painted it black, so the cheap way out. And then just a black sheet right behind it. So that's your setup. This is all you need is a table, black or lucite painted black, and a black sheet. It's hung up by just some cheap clamps from Walmart. So that's what you want to get started out with. Basically, the next step is you want to get it wet. You don't want to spray it with water, because if you spray it with water, it's just going to run. It doesn't keep on the can. It'll just run down. You'll have a puddle down below. So what you need to do is you need to get yourself some glycerin. It's 100% glycerin. You buy it at Walmart, and it's $4 for a little bottle. And basically you just mix it with some water, and then it becomes thick water, so it doesn't run. It keeps its gelatin form. So what you want to do is you just want to spray it a little bit. You can come on in here. And you just want to kind of pick the spots that you think, if a can was wet, where would it be wet? So you kind of just hit it a couple times, and then let it take for a second. Decide, hit it a second, decide, and hit it over here once. All right, and I should mention that this video is not sponsored by Hinterland. They actually don't even know that I'm doing it. I literally went to a grocery store, bought a can, thought this one looked good, realized that it's Hinterland, they're from Green Bay, so I thought I'd support them by showing them on a video. Check out Hinterland Brewing, because they are awesome. All right, so once you got your can all nice and glistening, what you want to do is you want to set this up, get it ready, and your remote is connected, whatever type of remote you're using, and you want to kind of just walk around this and start aiming your studio strobe or your flash, whatever you're using, at it, and just kind of start guiding. The studio strobes work the best because you can really focus on where you want your shot to be, or your picture to be. And the reason you're taking multiple shots of this is we're actually going to use multiple shots in layers when we do this on Photoshop. So what I do is I walk around and I take pictures all the way around it, but when the flash didn't go off. So I'm shooting at f9, shutter speed of 1/30th of a second, and just kind of walking around and taking pictures here, and just kind of focusing on different areas of the can to get the best shot that I can. And as you can see in the shots on the screen, that it's looking awesome already. When you shoot with a bottle, bottles are a lot harder because bottles have the back that you need to really focus on, and with a can you don't really have to do that as much, because you don't have to get the light coming through the bottle. You can't see the liquid. So we will get into another video. At one point showing how I do bottles, because that's kind of a different beast in itself. But it's essentially the same thing. It's just a lot more focusing of the light. And I figured a can would be a great way for you guys to start. So a can is what I decided on. And you can also remember that if your flash gets in the shot, you're probably going to be masking it out anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But you just, like I said, you just want to go around and make sure you got everything lit up exactly how you want it. The bottom is still not lighting up right. So we're going to get in here. We're going to take, there's a nice bright picture. And let me do the other side here, see if I can get. There we go. That looks a lot better. And let me see if I can get one right. Oh, beautiful. All right, so I think that's all the photos we need. I think we got everything we need. So now we're gonna tear this stuff down, and we're gonna go over to Photoshop, and I'm gonna show you in Lightroom and Photoshop how to edit this, how to get it all set up, and how to make it just look awesome, and send it out to your clients and say, hey, book me for some of this stuff. All right, so now I'm at my studio, and as you can see, things are being moved around. My Funko Pop collection is not behind me anymore. So I need your guys' help. I need you to leave me a comment on what you think I should do with these shelves. What should I put on these shelves? Should I put old photography stuff? Should I put, I don't know what I should do. Let me know in the comment what you think I should put back there. But I have Adobe Lightroom open, and I kind of want to go through the way that I create the photo that you're seeing in front of you. So this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 photos on top of each other, and I want to show you how I got to this. So we're gonna jump in. The first thing that you want to do is you want to take each layer and kind of brighten them up. Go through and do all your editing first, and get all of these photos the way you want them to look. So as you can see, these are the photos. Each one is just lighting up a different area of the can. You want to bring all those brightnesses up. Make sure you get those photos exactly where you want. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring them all in. So the first one I don't want. We're going to select all these, we're going to right click, and we're going to open as layers in Photoshop. So what this is doing is it's actually opening the layers in one image instead of bringing each image over into Photoshop and just filling up my bar. It's putting them all on top of each other. So what that's also going to do is, because I didn't move my camera, they're all going to be level on, lined up where they need to be in Photoshop. Okay, we got them all into Photoshop and we're ready to go. This first one's kind of just like a sample look of just straight up brightness, and we may use it a little bit, but probably not, because I noticed the color's a little off. But the first thing you want to do is you want to hide everything. You don't want anything coming through, and you're just going to want to start with your first layer. So this first layer, as you can see, it is lighting up the left side of the can, so that's a great point to start. All of this right here on the right side, though, is just way too dark. So the way we fix that is we start masking. So I'm going to bring the next one up, and as you can see, that's the right side. So I'm going to create a mask by hitting this little square circle, if you don't know where the mask is. I'm going to grab my brush tool, and the way that the mask works is if you have black as your color palette, or black as your primary color, anything you paint black on this image will disappear. Anything you paint white, if you mess up, you paint white, it'll come back. So what you want to do, because I know that image underneath this one is the left side, I'm just going to start painting. And what that's going to do is it's going to erase the top layer, and it's going to bring in that bottom layer. And none of this really matters. So as you can see, now we have the left and the right layer nice and lit. So what we're going to do next is we're going to check out what this one does. So this layer really isn't doing much for the image, so I don't even think we need to bring that one in. This one is a little bit of flare right here, so I think I'm going to bring that in, but I'm going to delete pretty much all of it except for you know what? I don't even really like that one. This is the one I was looking for here. So this one, we're going to create a mask. We're going to delete this. We're going to bring all of this out. We're going to come up, we're going to delete this, and we're going to run around this. So now this, pretty much all this is we can actually delete this stuff down here too. So now what we have is it's just lighting up this center spot right here. Go up, find out what the next one is. So this one's like one of my favorite ones, because what it is it's actually just this lip, and it's going to create this shadow, and when you put this shadow in, it just looks really, really cool. So let me show you how to do this. So then what I want to do is I'm going to Control or Command and come in just a little bit with this.
I'm gonna bring my brush down. I'm just gonna help that a little bit. Control Command. So now what I've done is I've created more of a lip on there. And if you don't like that as bright as it is, just bring your opacity down a little bit and it will kind of create that lip without looking too awkward. So because I like to bring the ring of the can in. I think it just makes the picture look a little bit better with it darker than just it being just super exposed. I kind of like that look a little bit better. That is personal preference completely though. So this one is going to be more of a reflection up here in the corner, which I tend to like. So we just mask and get that next layer off there, and then I'm going to bring my lip back a little bit. And I should let you know that my brush is at 56%, 50%-ish flow. That way it just doesn't delete everything right away. It lets you kind of work with everything a little bit better. So as you can see, that just brought a little bit of glow up into here. If you don't like it, don't use it. If you want that glow, use that glow. I'm actually going to leave it off just for this. Okay, so this is kind of an important one for me. What this is going to do is it's going to bring in the rim. So I'm going to completely delete everything off this image, or this layer, I should say. So now what that did is it brought in the sharpness up in the corner. What that's doing is that's making that can just pop just a little bit up in that corner. It's giving it that nice bling. So this is going to be your right side reflection. So we're going to do it on the right side here as well. Delete all that. Bring this down, kind of get as close as you can. Delete all this stuff down here, get rid of this glow. And I'm just kind of painting, just having fun, happy little trees style. And what that did is that brought that. You can see you can delete a little bit more right there. And that's just bringing those two reflections in. As you can see, this is without the reflections. And then this is creating like a natural reflection glow. This one I don't really need. And that one I don't really need. So basically, this photo is done now. What I can do is I can hit save and send it back over to into Lightroom. We're gonna save it. It's gonna save, it's gonna take a minute, and then we're gonna get over into Lightroom and I'm gonna tweak this just a little bit more and show you how to add some pizzazz to it. Welcome back to Lightroom, and we're ready to go. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you a little cheat that I like to do almost instantly to a photo after I've done that, and I'm going to hit the auto button and see what that does. So as you can see, that's just making it way too dark, not a fan. So we're gonna manually do it. First thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna crop this. And it's a little off. I was just a little off when I took the photo, so I want to try to center this a little bit. And there you go. That is your entire image. The image is done. It looks good. If you want to, this is now where you can turn this video off. Before you do though, please hit that subscribe button, the bell notification. If you want to stick around, I'm going to show you a little bit more how to just edit this a little bit better and get it to look just that much more professional. Put some background in it, put some text on it. If you want to watch, let's do it. All right, so we're going to dive right back in, and what we're going to do is we're just going to start tweaking stuff just like we did earlier with our image. So I'll bring the lights up, bring this up a little bit, check our darks, see how those look. So we're going to bring the darks up just a tad, see our blacks. We'll leave our blacks almost where they are, up just a little bit. And we're going to come down and we're going to grab our up and grab our clarity, bring in a little bit of clarity to this image. If you go too much, it just blows it out because of those water drops. But if you go up just a little bit, that's good. And then we're going to dehaze it a little bit. I think that looks good. As far as the can, I think there's nothing more than I would do to this other than this. Add a gradient filter tool to the bottom to get rid of some of that water on the bottom there. You want to make sure you don't lose your can while doing that though. So this is pretty much done. We're going to send it back over to Photoshop now, and this is where we're going to do the final stuff. I know that you could do the crop and all of that in Photoshop, but I like to do it in that order. That way I know where I'm at each step of the way, and I can go, okay, I'm doing the layers in Photoshop, or I'm doing the tweaking in Lightroom, then the layers in Photoshop, then the crop and the fine-tune adjustment images in Lightroom, and then the special effects in Photoshop. So what we're going to do, we're going to add another layer. We're going to grab our round ellipse tool right in the middle, hold down Shift. After you click button, hold down Alt on a Windows computer. No idea what it is on any other computer. And then we're just going to select a color. We'll go with green just to be fun. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to Gaussian blur this. Actually, I need to rasterize it first. And we're going to Gaussian blur it. So filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to just blur that out. So it's on top of our can right now. We don't want that. So we're going to, just like we did earlier, we're going to mask it. We're going to mask, and we're going to paint this can out of it. Now, if I was doing this actually for a client, I would take much more time on getting all of this down right and the level, because you don't want it to look like butt when you send it over to a client. So the can has a little bit of sprucing up now. Get that green off there. You don't want any green overspray because there wouldn't be any in the background. So now we're gonna just kind of take the opacity down on this. And then you want to think about this, because if this is sitting on a table or something like this, this green wouldn't be blowing over the edge. So I kind of just take my soft brush tool and I just get rid of some of it. I may have went a little high on that, so there is a background. You can actually, if you want to go even further, you can, add some, we will bring this over and go, grunge background. We're going to grab a concrete wall right off Google, because this is just for looks, not anything professional. If this were for a client, I would actually get out there and take these images myself. I don't feel like doing that. As you can see, this is going to be really pixelated. And basically we are going to, whoops, we're going to do it the other way. Select, inverse, delete. And we can delete the rest of this too. And then we're just going to mess around with it until it looks how we want it, which, that looks cool, that looks cool. I think I like that one. Let's go with that one. That one's kind of cool. And then let's just bring another, well, let's not bring another layer. Let's see. I want to try to see if we can bring that brightness up a little bit on it. And then the only last thing that I would like to do with this is bring in the Hinterland logo. Which I feel just kind of ties it all together. I would, like I said, if I was getting this from a client, I would definitely ask them for the image instead of just stealing it off Google. But because we're doing this just for funsies, I figured it'd be okay. We're going to Control I, then we are going to select this. Whoops. Control I, Control I, Control I, and delete this. Boom. You know, honestly, we could probably just delete this too. So there is our image. If you don't like the placement of it, you can grab this and this and this and bring them up. And then what you'd have to do is you'd have to add another layer under all of this. Grab your paint bucket, get it black, and boom. I know there's probably a hard line right there, but you get the point. So that is how I do it. That is what it looks like when it's done. That is a quickly edited photo, and I hope you guys like this. That is the way that I do my product photos when it comes to cans, bottles, stuff like that. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Let me know. I would be happy to help you guys figure anything out as far as the Photoshop and the touching up of the photos and the pictures and any of that. Click that bell, hit that subscribe, leave me a comment, and the thumbs up, guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace.